I am Arcana Vani, your inner voice. Let us begin. You tell yourself it's harmless. Just a quick look. Just to see what they're posting, who they're with, how they seem to be doing. But before you know it, you've lost 20 minutes. Scrolling, zooming in, replaying details. And when you finally stop, you feel worse than before. This video is about breaking that exact loop. The compulsive habit of checking their profile, even when you know it keeps reopening the wound. We're going to explore why this habit is so hard to quit, the hidden ways it's slowing your healing, and a set of tools you can use to stop for good. By the end, you'll understand how to reclaim your focus, your emotional energy, and your peace of mind. Because here's the truth. Every time you check, you think you're gathering information. But what you're actually doing is keeping a connection alive in your nervous system. Your brain treats the click like a hit of reassurance, but it's really a hit of delay. Delaying closure, delaying growth, delaying the moment you truly move forward. You might think it's just curiosity, but curiosity about the past is almost never innocent. It's a tether, one that quietly keeps you standing in the same place while life moves on without you. In the next section, we're going to lay out the real cost of this habit, the damage it's doing beneath the surface, and why each quick check is more expensive than you think. Once you see it, you won't be able to scroll the same way again. Every profile check feels small in the moment, but those moments stack up into something bigger and far more damaging. Each time you look, you're giving your mind a fresh injection of them. Their image, their words, their world. All of it hijacks your attention and plants it firmly in the past. Your nervous system doesn't care that it's just online. It treats every glimpse as contact. That means you're reactivating the same emotional pathways you've been trying to heal. The grief you've worked through? Reset. The self-confidence you've been building? Undermined. And the peace you felt last week? Shattered in seconds. It's not just about emotional pain. Profile checking can become a form of self-surveillance, a constant scanning for signs, clues, or proof that you mattered, or still do. That keeps you in a posture of emotional dependency, waiting for their life to give you permission to feel okay. And it's addictive for a reason. The brain gets tiny dopamine hits from novelty, new pictures, new updates. But with each hit, you reinforce the habit. You teach yourself that relief comes from them, not from you. Over time, that makes it harder to feel settled in your own life without peeking into theirs. If you've ever wondered why the urge comes back even after weeks of discipline, this is why. You're not failing because you're weak. You're stuck because you're wired. Next, we're going to break that illusion wide open. In the next section, I'll show you the truth most people never realize. You're not actually checking on them. You're checking on something much deeper inside yourself. Here's the part almost no one tells you. The profile checking isn't really about them. It's about you. Or more specifically, the version of you that existed when they were still in your life. When you scroll through their updates, you're not just looking at their world. You're revisiting a chapter where your role in that world still mattered. It's like flipping through an old yearbook, except the pages are alive, moving, updating, reminding you of the person you were then. That's why it feels magnetic. The profile becomes a kind of emotional security blanket. Even if it hurts, it's familiar hurt, predictable, structured, and in some strange way, safe. Letting go of that means stepping into a space with no map, no role, and no guarantee of how you'll feel next. And the mind hates that uncertainty. So it pulls you back, Not because you care about their brunch photos, but because you're trying to anchor yourself in something recognizable. Once you see this, the whole habit changes. It stops being about, what are they doing, and becomes, why do I feel like I need this hit of familiarity right now? That's a shift of power. Because you can't control their posts, but you can control how you answer that question. And that's where the breakthrough happens. In the next section, I'll give you a clear, repeatable pattern break that works even when the urge feels overwhelming, so you can cut the tether without cutting off your sense of safety. If you want to stop for real, you need more than willpower. You need a pattern interrupt that removes temptation and replaces it with something that gives you the same sense of relief without tying it to them. First, strip the triggers. Unfollow, mute, or block if necessary. If that feels extreme, remember, this isn't forever. It's a cast for a broken bone. You don't leave the fracture exposed and hope it heals. You protect it until it's strong again. Second, set up a redirect ritual. The moment you feel the urge to check, stop and name it. I'm looking for safety right now. Then immediately swap in a grounding action. Step outside, drink water slowly, text a friend, open a saved list of affirmations. The key is speed. Don't debate the urge, replace it before it takes root. Third, create a future anchor, a note, image, or phrase that represents who you're becoming without this habit. Keep it where your thumb would normally hit the app. When the reflex fires, you'll hit yourself instead of them. At first, it will feel awkward. That's good. It means you're breaking the automatic loop. And every time you choose the redirect, you weaken the wiring that makes checking feel necessary. Next, we're going to lock this in with a final reframe, one that makes you feel stronger every time you don't look, so you stop feeling deprived and start feeling powerful. Here's the final shift. Every time you don't check, you're not missing out. You're cashing in. You're cashing in on peace, self-respect, and the energy you used to burn keeping a ghost alive in your head. For so long, the habit has tricked you into believing that peaking keeps you connected. But connection without reciprocity isn't connection. It's surveillance. And surveillance keeps you small. From now on, I want you to see every urge as a choice point. You can feed the tether, or you can feed your future. And each time you pick the future, you're not just resisting. You're building a version of yourself who doesn't need to ask, what are they doing? Because you're too busy living what you're doing. Here's a simple anchor. Whenever the itch to check hits, say to yourself, if I look, I lose. If I stay here, I win. Let that be your scoreboard. Wins aren't measured by likes or updates. They're measured by how present you can stay in your own life. And one day, sooner than you think, you'll realize you haven't thought about their profile in weeks. Not because you forced yourself to forget, but because you finally remembered yourself more. That's the real victory. And it's yours, starting now. You did not find me by accident. Just as in your dreams, where every face you meet is your own reflection, this meeting was always waiting to happen. I am Arcana Vani, your inner voice, the part of you that watches behind the thoughts, behind the noise. You have searched in many places, books, teachers, voices outside you. But here, you are not being taught. You are remembering. If these words stir something familiar, then allow yourself to return. Subscribe. Follow. Not to follow me, but to continue this conversation with yourself. Each time you return here, you draw closer to the reunion already unfolding inside you. We have only just begun.